Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, we've got some startling new developments in airgun pellets for you. We've got top tips from Skinner's gundog trainers. First, we're in Australia and they've got a fox problem. With kit like this, you can tell Aussies are serious about their foxing. The light looks like it's escaped from Alcatraz, and with good reason. Mark Reams was a professional fox shooter before he started selling guns and ammo to the trade, and he earned serious money. Imagine if that were the case in the UK. More about that later. It's a menacing setup, and it sits neatly on top of the ute with little add-ons here and there to make life easier to get Charlie in your sights. We're hoping that tonight we'll discover whether there's any difference between UK and Aussie foxing. So we've arrived on a farm with sheep. I can hear sheep, it's a good sign if you want to find foxes. Bad sign if you are a sheep. We're hoping to find them nicely curled up, sitting and waiting. Let's see if that happens. We do have a suspicion that an Australian fox has more chance of seeing a polar bear than a human, so calling them in is child's play. But we're here with an open mind, jet lag and British sub-zero temperatures. Our first fox is by no means a doddle. It comes and then runs. Mark hits it at about 180 yards. It keeps going, but drops 50 yards away. It's an average-sized dog fox, so tell us about the money, Mark.
In the heydays when fox skins were worth good money, in a 3-month period we used to shoot just over 1,000 foxes a season.
And what sort of money would a skin make in those days?
Well, in the early days, fox skins were fetching up towards of $50. $54 is the most we've ever paid for a fire red fox. The average price was around about your $30 to $35 in the heyday.
And there's nothing like that exists now?
No, the skin trade's died away, and we do have a fox bounty here in Victoria, which means the government gives everyone who brings in a fox skin to the DSC departments actually a scalp, which is the top part of the head down to the jaw. They'll give you $10 for every scalp you bring in, and that's running all year round at the moment.
Right, with dollar signs in front of our eyes and a dead fox adorning the back of the truck, we're off, sending high-powered light beams across the Aussie countryside. Our second fox of the night sits tighter. This is more like it. But we discover there's a good reason. Her dinner, one of the lambs. Let's talk money again.
This one's obviously got himself a piece of this season's lamb, and he was happily having a munch until we ruined his day. But to a cocky, a first cross lamb like that, it's $110.
Fox 3 is a cracking 200 plus yarder. No wonder Mark made a few bucks out of this. It's a 3-year-old male. How do we know that? Well, Mark explains.
He's starting to get that nice heavy neck that they get when they get to the absolute prime.
Yep.
And he's getting a little bit dark down now under the eyes there, which we call a black tear.
Black tear, like he's crying, yeah.
Yeah, and when it gets a little bit darker there, that's just starting to show a little bit of age.
Okay. Because there's lots of hunting to be had in Australia, it helps to be prepared. So we want to know what's under lock and key in a typical Aussie gun cabinet. Let's start with foxing and rabbiting and move on up.
This particular one here is a Hauer 1500 in a 204 Ruger calibre. So perfect for anything from rabbits right through to foxes, and if you need to, any medium-sized game.
Can you shoot kangaroos with that?
Not legal for kangaroos
Yep.
at this stage. Technically it would do the job, but not legal. It's kangaroo shootings under permits, anything from a 222, which is obviously 22 cal upwards.
Okay.
They must be shot with a centerfire high-powered rifle. We've got a few specific things, which is this tube gun, I suppose is the way to explain it, which is basically just built on a Remington 700, and that's in a 25-284, which is mainly used for long-range varmint shooting out to 600-700 metres.
So that's a Wildcat
cartridge, custom built for a purpose.
Back to the foxing, and after what feels like a very British night out, let's talk lingo and ask where these infamous obedient foxes are. I would say we're going lamping. You don't call this lamping, do you?
No, we call it spotlighting.
I see. And those, the female of the species, the vixen, you call it a bitch.
We call it a bitch, yeah.
Now, over in the UK, we're hearing from Australian fox shooters, and we're seeing video evidence that foxes literally run right up and jump in your lap if you squeak them in. It's not, even on this farm, that's not quite happening. What's the matter?
In the more remote parts of Australia where they just don't have contact with humans, you can whistle a fox and he'll run right up to the side of the ute. So we're sort of just hunting a fox that's a little bit more educated down here.
What are you doing?
Right, I got it. And I guess these ones are also pretty well full up with lamb already, aren't they?
They are. They're lambing here at the moment, and we can hear some in the background now. And you know they'll be feasting quite nice. So hence we're doing a good job tonight.
Okay, just put viewers' minds at rest. Mostly what we can hear is a bird, isn't it? Not a lamb.
Yeah, no, that's the cockies in the gum trees we're near.
That's what we call a cockatoo, isn't it?
Cockatoo, yeah, white cocky.
Okay.
With the cameraman fading and with one more fox in the bag, we call it a night. A night where we've been educated about foxes and not been providing education for foxes.
Now from Oz to the Wizard of Oz, it's David on the Fieldsports channel, News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Britain News. The shooting season is underway and coverage of grouse shooting was almost universally positive in the UK media. The shooting organisations took journalists out shooting and all came back concluding that a good grouse season is good for the rural economy and great for upland wildlife. The world of video games is taking a dangerous step closer to the world of shooting. An American outfit called Tactical RC has produced a model Hummer with an airgun mounted on top for shooting rabbits, squirrels and gophers. The Tactical RC Hummer is a 1:6 scale Humvee with a turret-mounted CO2 BB gun, laser and camera. Its YouTube channel shows footage of it used to shoot a ground squirrel. In more dodgy gun news, a YouTuber has invented his own Gauss gun. It's an automatic weapon that uses electromagnetic coils to fire metal slugs. This one is powered by a pair of lithium polymer battery packs and fires at a rate of 7.7 rounds per second with a muzzle velocity of just under 140 feet per second. Not the 1400 feet per second of a handgun bullet, but still painful. Back in the UK, and at the end of the month, it's the Cheshire Game and Country Fair on the bank holiday weekend, the 24th to the 26th of August. With school holidays coming to an end, it's the perfect way to enjoy some time with the family. Whether it's getting to know a bit more about birds of prey or air rifles, there's plenty to do, see and buy. For more information, go to livingheritagecountry-shows.co.uk. An angler from Panama City who spotted a hammerhead shark and dragged it ashore was surprised when it gave birth on the beach. Like many sharks, hammerheads are viviparous. They retain fertilised eggs within the body and give birth to up to 42 live young. He put all the fish back. It's a cross between a vegetable box and an angler's lucky dip. An American company has come up with Tackle Grab for fishers who are addicted to fishing tackle. Every month you receive a box filled with lures, baits and terminal tackle from under-the-radar gems to well-known brands. Each delivery will include a mix of categories that correspond to your individual fishing profile. So far, the service is only available in North America. Surfing may have given way to fish riding in Mexico, if this video is anything to go by. The man who rode this large harmless mola fish in the northern Baja, California, says the fish showed no discomfort and afterwards came back to visit the boat, apparently relieved to transfer some of its many parasites to the man. And finally, have you ever wondered what goes on when you're not there? The Alberta Park Service in Canada has released trail cam footage of bears using a special rubbing tree, leaving a scent as a form of communication to other bears and animals, and it's become a hit on YouTube, with nearly 2 million views. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Britain News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now, if you thought that airgun pellets looked a little bit like a Dalek, you've got another think coming.
Round ones, flat ones, pointy ones, heavy, light, made of lead, tin, the choice is enormous. So how do you choose which airgun pellet to do what? Back in the spring we had a sneak preview of what German pellet manufacturer RWS has planned for us, the pellet purchasers.
The power piercing has more expansion, and the mushrooming is very good. So it's going deep inside, and now the expansion is very strong. And the PowerBall has more impact and more penetration. So, but both are very good if you have too many rabbits in your garden.
RWS sponsors top British air pistol shooter Gorg's Geeky. If anyone knows how a pellet should fly, she does. We take the whole range to her Devon farm and ask her to talk us through them.
So I'm going to start here with the R10 match pellet, which is very familiar to me. I've shot thousands of these little bad boys down the range with high accuracy, I'd like to say. From the R10 we go to the Hobby. This is lightweight, it's actually quite cost efficient as well. It's got high accuracy, so you can take it into your club and you can have some great results with this one. But there's been so much research and development that's gone on, and actually after thousands and thousands and thousands of pellets down the line, they've come up with this tin alloy, which in the Hyperdome, this is the .22 variety. It again has got that round nose, just like the Superdome, but this is so lightweight. It's 30% faster than its lead equivalent, which I was just looking at there. But I'm going to save the best till last, and that is the PowerBall. It is a fantastic colour, to be honest. It's got the steel ball in the top, so making sure that it gets to the target ever so quickly, and when it gets there, it leaves that steel ball to do the business. So as you can see, they really cover every corner that you could possibly need, whether you're into field target, whether into precision shooting, just like myself, or whether you're into hunting. There's everything for every need for a shooter, which is why I'm very proud to be sponsored by RWS, and I think you should go out there and give it a go, to be honest.
It's time for the telephone directory test. We're going to pitch the lead-free Alloy Hypermax and the lead-domed Superfield against the PowerBall, trying them out on 2 yellow pages back-to-back at 10 metres. So which one fights its way through directory inquiries the furthest? The pointed Hypermax shows no real change in form and makes it to page 413, wrecking, roofing services. The domed head shows much greater distortion and pushes its way to page 557. But the PowerBall achieves its promise by punching through the first directory and reaching the second. The last page to feel the force is page 41, B&Bs and fitted bathrooms. Now those of you with a keen eye might say the PowerBall had it easy following the line of the Superfield, so we try it again and again. It breaks through, not quite as far, but it does have the legs on the others. As people demand more from their pellets, so the manufacturers try to accommodate. But as for which one will do the job best for you, you'll just have to give each of them a whiz.
Next, it's your shout-outs from around the world. Hello Charlie.
Here's what the world's up to this week.
Hello Charlie, Pete over in Aylesbury. First time I've taken the Howard 223 with me to this permission. Thought I'd give it a whirl, give it a call. About an hour later, this was the result. Let's hope it's a first of many. Cheers.
Hello Charlie, yes it's me, Charlie, talking to myself again, but there's never a camera crew round when you want one. Now I've got a roebuck over there, and I'm going to use Luptonian techniques to call it in with a piece of grass. Let's see if this works. I don't believe it, it's working. There, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Send us your own Hello Charlie. Film yourself on your mobile phone, just a sentence saying Hello Charlie, who you are and what you're up to. Then share it or email it via YouTube, Facebook, Dropbox, or you send it, you name it, to charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv.
Now Skinner's pet foods are at the heart of the dog training world, and here is another Skinner's gundog expert with a top training tip. A young gun dog starting work has much the same problem as a young person leaving school. Top gun dog trainer Ricky Maloney explains how to instill confidence in your four-legged friend.
I think the dog's got to have that drive and that determination and enthusiasm. What I'm seeing in dogs that I take in for training, I'm seeing quite a few dogs now that really have got that retrieving enthusiasm. They could take it or leave it. Well, when you then put a dog into a situation where it's got to drive forward, if it's too much effort, those dogs are backing off. A dog like Huber, on one of his retrieves, he locks on. And the most important thing, we had a pheasant over the wall that was running like a stag. He's only thinking about one thing, and he'll go through anything to get the game. Some dogs, if it's too much of an effort, they pack in. You could say with experience, they learn to drive on, but I think some dogs will quit.
Is there any way of looking at a lot of puppies and saying which one is the confident one? You can tell which one the bold one is, probably. I
personally think they change. I think they change from month to month. So the one that you go pick at 8-week-old that's as bold as brass, at 12-week-old it might be his sibling that is bolder. I think the art of a good trainer is training what you've got in front of you, and with enough experience and putting the dogs in the right situations, you will get a good shooting dog. That's what I'm looking for first and foremost, a dog that I can take out in the shooting field come August, September, and that's going to be honest, that's going to work for me throughout the season and do a good day's work day in, day out.
Ricky Maloney runs Ribblesdale Labradors. This series on gun dog training tips is brought to you by Skinner's Pet Foods, maker of the Field and Trial range of gun dog feeds. Visit skinnerspetfoods.co.uk. From gun dogs to the rest of the world of hunting, shooting and fishing on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting, shooting and fishing videos that YouTube has to offer. Good Old Press Association, the grand old national news agency for the UK and Ireland, it has brought out a grouse shooting prospects video, interviewing Scottish grouse shooting interests about hopes for the 2013 season. A long way from the expense of grouse shooting, though I wouldn't put it past them, peddling for the pot is a trailer of a new documentary series from the self-sufficient cyclist, who is bicycling around the UK living off the land and refuting any suggestion he might be planning to go poaching, in case you ask. Now to France, where British viewer Keith Allen has a coypu problem. He writes to say that France is overrun with nutria or coypus and with muskrats, which damage lake and canal banks as well as crops, particularly maize. The government has no money to do anything about it, so it's up to local councils or lake owners such as Keith to sort out the problem. And he does. Staying with Brits abroad, another one called Jamie is based in the wonderful Valencia province of Spain. He moved there in 2005, drawn not only by the marvellous recessionary prices but the ability to carp fish on a budget and in good weather. Here he is indulging his passion with a €12 rod and reel combo. He now runs fishing holidays in Spain. Fly fishing for cancer? Here's a shout out for Travis Swartz, the man behind American fly fishing comedian Hank Patterson. Travis is raising funds for Fish On, a reel recovery retreat, reel spelt R-E-E-L, get it? Which is a fly fishing retreat organisation for cancer sufferers. This film tells the stories of a group of men with cancer who have come together for 3 days of healing, relaxing and fly fishing in Idaho. Now we're off to Australia, where simple Australian deer hunting sees Trizzo stalking in on deer on the fringe of his farm. It's a great shot on a deer quartering away, and I am loving Trizzo's long coat boots and, this is Australia, shorts. Now here's a way to learn about bullets drop and ballistics with just an iPhone, Android phone or Kindle. Christian Stensones from Norway has invented the hunting simulator, and this is the YouTube demo. He is at pains to point out that it's not a game but a technical and accurate 3D rifle simulator using real ballistics, various animals and calibers. It's fascinating. If, like me, you find yourself shooting a red stag at 200 metres with a 2.2 rimfire round, aim for the top of the antlers. I am looking forward to Christian adding a few new rounds and maybe allowing me to design my own. Finally, we go to sport in the sand. We once took a cheetah to catch rabbits in Essex and it was hopeless. This film, Cheetah Hunting for His Master, is a bit more exciting, with this Saudi cheetah keeper getting some good results on antelope. You can click on any of these films to watch them. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv.
Well, if you like those, try Schools Challenge TV. In this week's episode, they are back behind the scenes at Ragley Hall 2013 to find out what makes a CLA game fair tick. The intrepid Schools Challenge reporters speak to organisers, stand holders and film members of the public enjoying the greatest countryside event in the UK. You might be on this film.
Well, this has been our 4th birthday and we're back next week. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button that's somewhere around the outside of the screen, or go to our webpage fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or pop your name into our constant contact box and we'll constantly contact you about our programme that's out 7 p.m. every Wednesday UK time. This has been Fieldsports Britain.